Hey, but Carl, nobody's buying, right?
You know, I, 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 here's the funny thing. I personally don't hear anybody saying that, but I see it on Facebook groups a lot.
Right, right. Well, you'll
You
see
know,
it in,
that,
in the groups. A lot of the groups that you'll visit are from
and good
side
groups, right? Good
conversation.
groups. I'm not
Yeah,
picking on
yeah,
the
yeah,
groups, but good
yeah.
groups. But somebody was in there and they said, man, it's a little slow right now for me. How about anybody else? Oh yeah, expect it, expect it,
Mhm,
expect it.
mhm, mhm.
And yeah, just chill out. Don't worry about it. Just come back in the first of the year. Now, as we're recording this, it's the middle of December, right?
Right,
And so,
right.
hey, just take the next 2 weeks off. Don't you worry about it. We all suck right now, so don't lose any sleep over it.
Nobody's buying. The market's slow. Everybody's going sleepy. It's
Yeah,
just the
they're
holiday
not buying
lull.
houses this time of
Yeah,
year. It's too cold. It's Christmas time.
that's a
They're out
big one. Yeah,
visiting. They're spending
yeah.
money on gifts, not on houses. Like everything you can think of. The problem is that's not the case.
Hmm. That's right.
That's not the
Well,
case.
you know what I was just thinking about, like Sarah, I think she just put her 12th loan in the pipeline. I'm thinking about like Sharon Wofford. I mean, double digits decidedly. You got, yeah, I was talking to Brittany Bobs just 2 days ago, Carl,
What a great story.
22 loans this month
Yeah.
and 22 loans last month. And January looks to be even bigger.
Now
And what
keep in
about,
mind that's not a team of loan officers.
no,
That's
no.
a loan officer.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Uh,
the thing that always crosses my mind. So you see some people going, you know, gosh, it who you hang out with matters
mm,
so much,
mm.
so
Hey,
much.
talk about that because
Well,
you'll
like
hear
like
it, but
and look, they mean well, right? They
right,
do, they do.
right.
So like in this group, in this Facebook group, it was like, hey, I'm low now. Is this normal? Like, well, somebody new, right? They're
Yeah,
asking a real question. Is this normal?
sure.
And then people meaning well, right? Meaning well, don't worry about it. Like that's okay. What do you mean? Don't
Mhm.
worry about it. They got to make some money to feed. They got a mortgage payment. They got a house payment. They got tuition for the kid. They got a wedding coming up, or they got they want to go buy a house, or they need a new
Right,
car,
right.
or they want to take a vacation. What do you mean? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about making no money. Don't you let that. But they mean well because what they're really saying is, hey man, I love you. Like, be cool, be calm. It's all going to be okay. But it's not going to be okay if you don't do something,
Mm,
right? So they mean well, right? So I'm
right,
not saying like the people say, "Hey, don't worry, everybody's down right now." They're, look, that person's not being a jerk or anything, right? They mean
right.
well. They're trying to give assurance, right? Which is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you got to understand that's like the boat's on fire and somebody, oh, don't worry about it. We're out in the ocean. The water will eventually put the boat out when it sinks, you know? And so no, it's like, dude, the boat's on fire. Let's start paddling, right? Let's
Yes.
let's let's
Yeah.
let's let's grab some water, let's get this thing moving. Like, don't worry, everybody's going to drown, so it's okay. No, like
Yeah.
we have to do something. I saw like RK Glover.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
dude, he went from zero loans, right? When we have those, right? We all have those. Went from zero to eight,
Hmm.
like for the month,
Right.
right? At a time when most people are going down, or who was another one that I saw?
Oh yeah,
Adam
dude, what a
Crossley.
great oh man.
What a great
From 9
story.
loans to 18
To
loans.
18. So a
Yeah.
doubling. So already doing well and went well, because now it'd be easy for Adam to go, hey, I'm closing nine. I've got a
Yeah,
little
I'm
comfort room
okay.
here. I can kind of
Yeah.
chill a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But he says, screw that. I'm gonna own this thing. Right. I want to
Hmm.
make a difference.
Hmm.
Because what they're really doing is you cannot wait until the green flag is waved to start the race.
Mm.
You've got to get a running head start. So when everybody else is starting their engine, you blow past them
That's
at
it.
full speed, and lapping them before they even start their engine.
I love it.
Right?
Hey, I was thinking about someone precious. I literally talked to her 2 days ago. And so she's part of the alliance that you and I are doing, which has been remarkable results. Carl, she was doing on average, and we were talking yesterday. She serves a lot of Hispanic families. And she said, Steve, one of the things that I've really been able to overcome since linking arms with us, Carl, was she does her English wasn't her strongest language. And it was always in her back of her mind, kind of a barrier where it's like, man, if my English were better. And Carl, this month, in what people say, oh, it's supposed to be a slow month. So here she has for a long time consistently thrown up 2 to 3 loans a month.
With
This
nothing wrong
month
with that.
finding,
Good
well,
living.
and it's a good business, but she
Yep.
said that's not all. I want more for my family. Carl, this month 10 loans. And January is going to be the same. And you start realizing, you and I were talking about it, and it was like, you jokingly said it. Oh, but I thought nobody was closing loans. There's no business. It's slow. And I'm like, well, we got to talk about it on the podcast because I agree 100%. When you hear, it's almost like a validating, oh, don't worry about doing the right activity. It's already slow because doing that work won't get you the results versus a whole nother camp, which says, man, it's not more activity that does more loans. It's less activity, but more of the right activity.
Yes.
And when everybody's saying it's slow, guess what? We've seen a massive exodus of the business. A lot of loan officers are not here. And we just looked at a graph, you and I, a few minutes ago. This will literally be the fifth best purchase volume year that we've seen since 2007. And so there's opportunity. So one camp is saying, oh, it's slow. There's no business, slow down, it's seasonal. And another one's saying, it's the greatest opportunity we've seen. And if you do more of the right activity, you can go from a handful of loans to double digits and you don't have to work more doing it. And I really do believe that it goes back. Talk about the draft. I thought that was I heard you talking, you turned me on to NASCAR. And whenever I think about what's going on in this industry, that the ones that are doing a lot, man, there's two camps, people that are thriving and seeing best months ever and camps that are struggling. And I think it's because of who they're hanging out with. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. I'd also love to hear from you. Make sure to drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or what it is you want to see next. And we'll see you on the inside. See you.
Well, I'll give you another example. Like we were, as we're recording this day, I'm up in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
We've got a little place up here on the beach, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Great little city, by the way. Anyway, so we were driving up here, and I saw this flock of what I'm guessing was geese. Right, I see
Yeah.
this flock flying in the V formation. Maybe it was
Oh, yeah.
ducks, right? But flying in the V formation, and there was probably about, man, it was a good number. I don't know, 50 of them, something like that. And I'm looking at that, and Maria commented, because it's really cool looking, blue skies, beautiful day out, and we're looking at them, and she said, I wonder why they fly like that, like the V
Mm-hmm.
formation.
Mm-hmm.
And as a pilot, I knew why, right? So they do that because you get a little lift from the plane, bird, duck, geese in front of you. That you get a little bit of lift on your wing from that one, and the one behind you gets a little bit of lift, and the one behind you gets a little bit of lift. And come to find out that when you're flying with this group like this, it takes 25% of the energy to go as fast as if you were out there all by yourself. So if you're out there all by
Wow.
yourself,
Wow.
you're doing 3 times the energy of the one that's in your draft falling with you. And there's this
Mm-hmm.
thing like in NASCAR, they call it bump drafting, where the say the lady in first place and then the dude in second place, when they're running down the racetrack together, they go faster than any car by themselves. And what happens is the car in second, right, is actually pushing the car on first,
Yeah.
and the car in first is breaking the air. I was going to say breaking the wind, right? That doesn't sound right, but it's breaking the air for the second car, so the second car can go yet even faster and
Yeah.
push car number one even faster. We find the same thing, like working with groups of loan officers, that we'll have some cat in there closing like 30 loans a month, 40 loans a month, 50 loans a month, and then somebody in second place comes up. As they start to move up, right, the person in first place is inspired to do yet even more
That's
and
right.
figure out, how do I do yet even more in yet even less time, right? And it's all about doing the right activities. But yeah, flying, hanging out with who you hang out with,
Really
and we all know
matters.
that. It's just
Yeah.
huge. I was
Mhm.
talking with I was talking with this guy earlier today, Chris Haynes. You know who Chris Haynes
Oh
is?
yeah, love Chris.
Super
Great,
cool
great
guy.
guy,
Yeah.
great friend.
So I was
Yeah.
talking with him, and he told me a story that when he started high school basketball, he's a big basketball player. By the way, dude
He
cranks out so much. He has a private
Yeah, I know.
basketball
We've been
court.
there. We were there in
Yeah,
Nashville.
in
Remember?
his
Yeah,
house.
he's got his own
In his
basketball
house,
court in
he
his
has
house.
a full court
Oh, I know it. It's
basketball,
beautiful, man.
including bleachers
Yeah.
in his house, right? And it's just a small section of his house. Anyway, so he's telling me this story
Yeah.
of that when he started high school, he's in the ninth grade, right? For his school system, that's how it worked. So he's in ninth grade, and he's with the 12th graders. And so, as part of the varsity team, he's supposed to be blocking these juniors and seniors, right? And he's in the ninth grade. And he said the first couple 3 weeks, there's no way I can cover these guys. They're faster, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're taller, they're more experienced.
Right.
He said it's funny, Carl. 2 months later, I'm on plane with them. I,
Mm,
I'm good. Like I'm blocking them, I'm scoring on them. Like I'm an equal to them now.
hmm.
And it's all about when you play with a better player, you become a better
You
player.
get better.
When you hang out with high producing loan officers, you become a high producing loan officer, right? That's my belief, and it's so true that if I'm out there alone by myself, man, if the reason you don't see geese flying alone by themselves is those are the ones that got eaten, right?
That's right.
Those are the ones that
True
got tapped
story.
out of the business, right?
Yeah.
Those are I think it's something like what was it like almost 60% of loan officers have tapped out. Well, the interesting thing, like what you just said, if somewhere around 60% is tapped out, and yet this is going to be the fifth best year ever since whatever 2007, we've got more loans than last year,
Right.
and like 40% of the loan officers.
That's right.
This is like epic. Like your share of what you're getting is stands to be so much larger than what you've had in the past. It's more loans with half the amount of people,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you got a barrel of fish with half the amount of fishermen sitting inside the barrel. That's probably a bad example, but you get the idea. It's
Yeah.
like this can be really, really, really good, which is why Dennis Wells funded 10 loans last month,
That's right.
right? It's like he's not listening to the nobody's buying right now because he
Hmm.
knows that's not the truth. And again, nothing wrong with the people trying to calm that person down and kind of talk them off the ledge per se. But I think it's important that everybody knows the truth.
That's right.
That just because many other people are going down, doesn't mean that you do,
Yeah.
right? You got to be part of the winners.
Hey, it was interesting because in the alliance, one of the things we do is we look at the metrics, and I know like Scott went from 1 to 4 closings, Rick Cobble went from 4 to 7, Adam Corrigan went from 8 to 12. You can watch that what you were just talking about. It's like everybody's bumping everybody up, and I think the greatest point of this podcast that Carl and I want to do is be inspired by hanging out with the right people and knowing that this is one of the best opportunities of the market. Like we've even got a rate tailwind behind us. We're not hitting 8% rates. We've got a reprieve on rates. We've got an exodus of loan officers and a massive amount of opportunity. And who you hang around matters. And one thing that Carl and I are doing is we're doing this alliance together. And these are just some of the results. Like even I was thinking about Amy DeBusk. Love Amy. She was on the podcast here a few episodes back, went from 0 and in 4 months to 10 closings a month. And you and I were saying, but wait, it's supposed to be slow. It's supposed to be a sleepy time of the year. And what we know is it's not. The market is what you make it, and we can help you with the activity. We can help you with a plan. And Carl and I just want to invite you, go to loanofficersuccess.com. If you say, hey, you know what? I want to literally learn how to bump draft and to join a team of people and to be a part of something that is a catalyst for what you deserve. We know that you deserve financial freedom. You deserve closing the number of loans that you really have a plan to do, and we can help you with it. Go to loanofficersuccess.com, fill out a couple of pieces of information. Carl and I have an alliance group starting here shortly. And Carl, it's possible, and they deserve it. You deserve it.
I tell you, I always worry about how this comes across. the funny thing I've seen about most very successful people is they're just normal people
Mm,
taking action.
that's it.
And don't get me wrong, every now and then we see, the Elon Musk of the world, or
Sure.
you see these amazing individuals, or you see the Oprahs of the world, where they're like, they are Tony Robbins, they're just kind of bigger than life kind of thing. That's the outliers.
That's right.
The vast amount of them, they're just normal people, just like me and you, and they just start hanging out with the right people, doing the right activity, and just amazing things happen. So we'd love to be a part of your success story. What's that link again?
Loanofficersuccess.com. Fill out a couple of pieces of information. It'll get to us. We'll give you a call. Let's see if
Hey,
the
and just real
alliance
quick,
is a good fit.
hey,
Yeah.
it's a special time of the year. This is a
Yeah.
great time to do something. And all I'm asking you to do is just push disbelief to the side just for a
Mm,
second.
hmm.
Push disbelief to the side just for a second, and flick little guy off your shoulder that's barking your. It'll work for somebody else, but not for you. Push disbelief to the side, and let's just have a conversation. We'd love to talk with you.
Yeah.
So,
Loanofficersuccess.com. So,
yeah,
Carl,
just
love you, my man.
love you too, buddy.
All right. See you.